Using a gradient fill will always fill the entire shape. As you've seen, it spreads out on each side of the gradient line as far as necessary. It also spreads beyond the ends of the line if necessary, but it has more than one way of doing it. Here's a program that uses the default known as Cyclical. The shape to be filled is a rectangle, and the rectangle is 500 pixels wide. But the gradient doesn't begin until 200 pixels in from the left, and it continues for only 100 pixels until it gets to 300 pixels from the left. Now here's what happens. As you can see, color is extended in both directions, but the gradient area is restricted to the starting and ending points of the line, about here and here. The areas beyond that are simply filled with the starting and ending colors. Now here's another way to do it. This is just like the previous example, except for the additional argument here on the constructor. This is a flag setting that tells the gradient paint object to continue cycling the color beyond the ends of the line, and it does that by repeating the same gradient instructions. The result looks like this. When it's set up this way, the gradient is repeated over and over and over again, as many times as necessary to fill the whole figure. Now notice the gradient was defined as red to white, but it reverses its direction on the repeat. Here's the region of the original red to white, and then it reverses itself and goes white to red, and then red to white again. Now here's an example of the same program, but with a shorter cycle. This example has the same size rectangle, and the gradient starts at 200 pixels in from the left, but only goes to 220. And again, it is set to be cyclic. Now there are some ways to fill shapes other than just with a gradient, and we'll be getting into those a little bit later, but we've got to cover some other ground first.